Fayetteville, like many cities across America, experienced civil unrest in the wake of George Floyd's death after a police officer in Minneapolis placed a knee on Floyd's neck for more than 8 minutes. There were several tense hours on the first evening of the protests in Fayetteville where crowds damaged public buildings as well as private businesses. In the aftermath of the damage from the unrest, volunteers descended on downtown to help with cleanup and restoration of the damage. Artists and community members decorated the boarded-up windows with positive messages and messages for change. A curfew was put in place to be in effect until tensions calmed down. One protest resulted in the peaceful dispersal of the protest after a standoff between the protesters and the police. One of the police officers was in communication with a protester he knew, and the two came up with a plan. The police officers kneeled to show solidarity with the protesters, and the protesters then kneeled in response, and tensions calmed. The City of Fayetteville and the Fayetteville Police Department condemns racism and abhors what happened to George Floyd. The Fayetteville-Cumberland Human Relations Department is working closely with city leadership as well as the police department to help continue the process of healing, promoting constructive conversation, and ensure that what happened to George Floyd never happens in our community. Contractors have been busy paving the new Hurley Plaza, and the Fayetteville-Cumberland Parks and Recreation crews have been beautifying the walkway leading up to Segra Stadium. Fayetteville City Council voted to name the plaza after Bill Hurley, the former mayor of Fayetteville who played a vital role in the revitalization of the downtown area, as well as being a fan of minor league baseball in Fayetteville. The new plaza has planter basins, a wide walking path, and benches for visitors to Segra Stadium. The project ties into the renovations at the Prince Charles Hotel, as well as the construction of the new multi-million-dollar parking deck with a hotel and office complex to be built on top. The Cool Spring District is adding some personality to downtown streets. Working through its design committee, a volunteer group focused on grassroots projects that revitalize public spaces with art, the organization painted 2 crosswalks and installed the Cool Quotes Project, a temporary and artful street decal project. The crosswalks were painted by Carolina Striping along Person Street, at the Bow Street intersection, and along Green Street to provide a colorful connection between Linear Park and Lafayette Park. The Cool Quotes Project involves 35 inspiring quotes placed throughout the downtown district. The decals are made of non-slip vinyl and will be in place for the next 60 to 90 days or until the decals start to look worn. Design services were provided by Yellow Crayon, and Street Level Media helped to pay for the purchase of decals. The goal of both projects is to help make the space more inviting and encourage walking and biking downtown. The Cool Springs District invites the community to come out and explore our city center, go on a scavenger hunt for decals, and support local businesses. You might have seen some new art pieces on display in downtown Fayetteville. For the past several years, the Fayetteville-Cumberland Arts Council has sponsored Work in Progress, a program that places pieces of art in downtown Fayetteville for everyone to enjoy. Every year, new sculptures go on display and add an eclectic spark of creativity. If you'd like to learn more about the program, visit the Arts Council webpage at www.theartscouncil.com. The budget for the City of Fayetteville for the next fiscal year is making its way through the process before it's officially approved. The goal for city leadership was to develop a balanced budget for fiscal year 2021, which begins in July and continues to provide full city services in the midst of a global pandemic. The recommended budget has been designed to meet this goal without raising the property tax rate, which is currently set at 49.95 cents per $100 of assessed property values. The proposed operating budget for next year is a little over $233 million. The impact of COVID-19 is expected to reduce city revenues by $8 to $10 million over the current fiscal year and next year. The city has been able to deliver a balanced budget without a tax rate increase through the use of federal funds from the CARES Act, the city's fund balance, and a modest increase in fees. The funding priorities for the budget are based on citizen feedback and defined by City Council members. The City Manager first presented the budget to Council on May 26. In addition to a series of budget work sessions for Council members to learn more about various parts of the recommended budget, a public hearing for the proposed budget was held on June 8. The final stage before approval is for the proposed budget to be adjusted based on Council member feedback. The final version of the budget will go before City Council on June 22nd for official adoption. Council has until the end of June to finalize and approve the budget budget before the next fiscal year begins on July 1st. The city's Budget Chronicles webpage at www.fayettevillenc.gov/Budget Chronicles has more information and details on the budget and highlights some of the major projects for next year.